Hey guys, before we start the show, I want to tell you about the sponsor of tonight's episode, Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. For a free trial and 10% off your first purchase, go to squarespace.com and use the offer code Shark Tank. What show are you about to listen to? Shark Tank, and we'll definitely get more into that with Cheeked. Now enjoy the after show.
You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Shark Tank After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Shark Tank After Show.
Hey guys, I am Stef Z. We are here doing another Shark Tank recap, episode 18. Pretty good episode. We have some special love in the house tonight. Who's over there?
This is Keven Undergaro, and I was so excited to sit in on tonight's episode. It was a great episode, I thought. I love this show. So.
And I am, of course, Phil Svitek, and Christina Zias will be joining us soon.
Yeah, I don't know. It's raining here in LA, so some things get...
It's like the snow out in the East Coast.
It's
for us, all it takes is rain.
Yeah, it just wipes this place off.
And it's like a drizzle, and it actually is like coming down in buckets outside, so everything's a little bit crazy here in LA. But we will get right into it with Cheeked. What do you think?
I love the idea.
What did you like about the idea, Phil?
In terms of, not the idea of the business. I like the idea of me using this on women. Not cheeked or anything like that, just the card itself.
So you could print up your own card, like Mark said, and hand it to a girl or a guy, whatever your
But what's the intention of that? Like, so what, okay, so Phil, so if you think you would use this, is it that you don't have the courage to say, can I have your number? Or can I? Because you're still clearly making the approach.
Right now, it feels something different. It feels like a different approach. You know, like online dating scene's so, you know, you're either doing that or you're approaching some girl at the bar. This is like the in-between.
I don't know, man. But what are you saying? We said, hey.
Again, terrible business.
Like,
I can't see this.
Do you say anything or do you just like slide it under a drink?
No, it depends on the cheesiness of the...
All right, Steph. We're a little older than Phil. Let's go to these early 20-somethings.
Okay.
Marissa, let's go to the booth. Marissa, you were watching with us.
Yes.
What did you think of Cheeked?
I thought she was a little bit crazy. I wasn't sure.
Okay, not about her.
She
but,
didn't
right,
have the.
You're right, but that's no. But you're right.
We'll
because
get there.
No, because you're investing in the person. Okay, so go ahead.
She didn't have the best approach, and I think that the Sharks made a great point that if you didn't have the courage to even speak to the person, having the courage to give someone your business card, you would have the same courage of just speaking to them in face to face.
Well, I don't care because I believe in what I'm doing and I'm going to change the world.
Yeah.
Crazy eyes.
Yeah, she had crazy eyes.
But I was thinking that something like this could be cool if it was like an app, or if it was like, you know, something like, and I know they have some apps like I mean, the Grinder one comes to mind. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Of course.
Yeah. But it's like, so say you were like Phil, if you think you would use
I'm
this.
not on Grinder.
No. I'm not saying you are.
Just saying.
But I'm saying,
I'm
like,
on
say we were all at a bar and you, like, other people were there and you could view the profile and actually know the things about them and then see if you want to talk to them. Like, I get that might work better because then you'll have more. Oh, they like what I like. I can go talk about XYZ. There's something in common already. That,
so a blind date type
would,
of deal?
But a blind date, an accessible blind date, like an accessible icebreaker.
Okay, so it's an app where...
Like, us three are at a bar, and I can look, and I can be like, if you guys are a part of it, your thing pops up, your 9 questions.
Oh, wait, we better stop talking, because this could be a good idea.
It's a good idea, right?
Right, so we walk into a bar, and as soon as we walk into the bar, can I take it from here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at Jake's Tavern, so I walk into Jake's Tavern, and I activate my app, and basically my app has my profile. This is who I am. I'm a Scorpio. I like basketball. I am very active, social, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm out into the universe that everyone knows I'm at Jake's Tavern. That's what I'm doing. You come into the bar, you type in Jake's Tavern,
and I
right?
see you, or
Boom.
not even that. It's
No,
just a GPS thing. Like
exactly,
you get there and
right.
it's there. It's like a
okay,
Foursquare.
so
You don't have to
that's
type
even better.
anything.
So your
and I go, oh my
developers are better
God,
than mine.
he plays
Stef
basketball.
Z's
He's a
here,
Jets fan.
and he's
Holy
at this.
crap,
All right,
the
and
Jets
so
suck. Let's bond.
Shut the mics off. Okay, we need you to rewind. Marissa, we'll start the show from the top. Okay, here's the thing. That's not what this was.
No, this was, here's my business card, and I'm going to give you crazy
This was
eyes.
the world's most expensive business. And
Wow, you did that really good. And
No,
they had the nice tight shots.
And yeah, the director was so great because they kept going in on the extreme close-up on this girl.
I've never seen that many close-ups ever.
It was, God, it was, it's such a lesson, and I know everyone has dreams, and I always say because I'm the old one at the table, I think I've done enough of these, but I've been there where you just won't stop throwing money at something, and you keep telling everyone, no, you don't understand. Once this gets finished, once this movie gets made, or once, and only to find out that you've just thrown your entire life away. And what was aspirational was that everyone,
Lori, we love you.
But everyone at the table knew what that felt like.
Right.
And I liked one of the sharks.
Lori. No, Barbara.
Well, Barbara, who admitted it, who said, I did this in my flower business, and I totally failed. And I've learned that I'm older than you. I've learned this lesson, and now I'm relaying this lesson to you. And for me, the takeaway is, when you're younger and older people try to teach you things, listen. We're working with Maria, the owner of this network, Maria Menounos, since she was 18, 19. One of the greatest things beyond all her talents is she always listened to older people. And then, before I met her, during and after, she's always still reaching out to, even with her book, it was all these celebrities gave her all these great tips. And, whether it's, and I'm not going to name drop, but whether it's like this guy or this lady or, to this day, she's always listening. And what I like about her is now, now she's getting, to her mid-30s. And I've noticed from her early 30s to mid-30s, now she's starting to veto some of the ideas a little bit more, and make her own decisions. But I would still say 70 or 80% of the time, she's taking all of this great advice from older people. And when I was younger, I was more of a bull in the china shop, where I was like, no, they don't know any better. I'm different. I know better. And of course, I didn't. And that's why I was crying. I felt very sad watching this.
Yeah.
I
think the one thing that Barbara said in that whole thing was that it's the right entrepreneur, wrong business. She was congratulating her passion and what she was like, how much she cared and what she wanted to do, but she was just like, your business is terrible.
But she was so delusional too that I couldn't buy into her.
Down to the minuscule aspect of it, she kept saying, "That's a very good question." So I feel like you have to be smart enough to know.
Can I tell you where that comes from, Phil? So what they do is they read all of these books on how to respond. Because I get this every day too. That was a great question. Phil, how many times we talk about this when we will reprimand someone who's made the same mistake 5 times and they'll say, you know what? I totally understand that. I totally understand why you're saying that to me. And you know what? You're 100% right. This is all on me. Okay, so after the 6th effing time, can you just stop doing it then?
Right.
When are you going to tell me that? Like, you're right. I did make a mistake. I will never do it again. But they have these pre-programmed responses that they're taught by other people, but there's no substance. It's just wait till the shark says the last line. I have my stock answer, and let's get back to give me money for my stupid business. Not listening to anyone at the table.
It was a stupid business. I'm with you. Phil, I mean, I don't know, man. I
think
you got more game than the card.
I'm just saying, for me personally, now as a single guy, it's going to be a method I employ. That's all I'm saying.
I kind of want to go out with you within the next 2 weeks to a bar, and you bring these cards, and I want to see the reactions.
All right.
Can I also say one more thing?
Yeah, your own.
About this one subject, this one product, and this one entrepreneur, and I do feel like sometimes these products are great, and sometimes what you want is an entrepreneur, a great business person, and a great product. And you heard even tonight with someone else, they said she would have been a nightmare to work with. I mean, sometimes you can have a great product. By the way, in filmmaking, I see it all the time. I see like these guys who are great writers, absolute nightmares. I'm like, get out. Phil, right? Last week we had a really big show pitched to us. It was a great show. It was a no-brainer reality show. And you know what? I said, Phil, walk away, because the guy we were working with was like this kind of wackadoodle. And when I think of this lady, going back to her, I felt because she was so in her own world and so self-immersed, I didn't buy into her to really know how other people feel. How, you know, as
Right.
you're great matchmakers, you guys. No people. Okay, like, you know what, Steph, I have the right partner for you. Let
Right.
me, it's this kind of person, it's that kind of person. Or if they don't have that, they have a true passion for God. I'm tired of seeing lonely people. I have so many great people I know are lonely.
No,
and I
yeah,
wanna
there's no
connect them.
heart behind
And there was
everything.
none of that
No.
with this. This was about me, my idea, my, you know, and it's like, and so it was a total fail across the board.
No, I get it. And she came out real quick, just for the numbers part. She came out wanting $100 grand for 10% of the company, which it was crazy evaluation. She gave herself $1 million valuation, and she only had She made $56,000 in 3.5 years. It was kind of a sad story to it. And of course, when she walked out, we all commented on her outfit. So she used to work for Christian Dior and sold her whole wardrobe.
No, guys, again, because I've been there before. I've been from the house to the homeless situation, and I really, it broke my heart. You know, and for me, it's like, it's not too late. You're not in debt. You can get back into the architecture thing. You can build that up. You can do this as a hobby, and you'll be fine. But please, you know, if you go any further, like sometimes people get so deep into debt that then they can't get out.
Right.
You know, and it's sad.
It's totally sad. I did like, you know, I liked the question, a little bit of the positives. I did like that, you know, your profile was made because of these questions and it produced a special code. Like, it was some functionality that I thought was good. I just don't think it was applied in any way that anyone would use.
You know, she said she needed the money for the app and the website. 3 years, she hasn't had a functioning website.
You know what? That's because she didn't get her website on squarespace.com.
I mean,
Bringing it back, dude. Bringing it back.
That's right.
It's true, by the way. It is cheap to do. Why wouldn't you just spend the money on
Squarespace?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about
because it's cheap, right?
Yeah, it's like $8 a month or something.
It's like ridiculous.
with a free domain.
With the free domain, you can bring over your own domain. You can have a merchant account on it. I mean, it's
so
easy
weird
to
how
design.
remember back in the day, you guys, just websites be $100,000 to do design. You know, now you have these kind of services, which is perfect. And you know,
It's a bunch of templates they use. Yeah.
But it's replaced to get a site like this. It's replaced having a resume. It's replaced a press kit. I mean, you basically have your electronic press kit online for anybody, for an employer, for a future business contact, even for your friends. It's very cool. And what I like about, you know, with some of the designs that Phil showed me, it's not. I know everyone's on Facebook, and I dare not knock Facebook because it's totally successful. But I know for me, I get a little lost sometimes with just the aesthetic and the layout. But when you have a website like these, you look at these templates that you can design to what you want. Very cool and so cheap. So cheap.
Yeah, no, you do get lost. Again, yeah, Facebook, brilliant, but you get lost. So when you have a product or something you want, you know, information everywhere, just like there's ads now on Facebook and all kinds of stuff.
So, you know, we go to Squarespace and set up your own. And I don't know why more people don't do it. And hopefully, you know, with the ad, they'll take advantage of it.
And there's 24-hour, 7-day-a-week support, and it's a person. You know how most times you get like an actual you get actual people that help you out, and it's already easy to begin with anyway. The design is, again, you can customize it however you want, and it responds to so many devices, right? There's mobile apps, tablets, desktops, laptops. Everyone's got a different, you know, so it's got to look good on every single platform. Squarespace allows you to do that. And as we mentioned, $8 a month with a free domain starting off. For a free trial, you don't need a credit card. So start building your website today and use the offer code Shark Tank.
Shark Tank.
And get 10% off your first purchase. So we're making it even cheaper.
You know what? You know, I have a funny, interesting Squarespace stories that, you know, doesn't even relate to the ad, but I'm going to say it anyway. So, Maria, well,
I'm like, where are you going?
Well, with Maria Menounos being a celebrity, we've been approached by Buzz Media, Celeb Buzz. There's a bunch of big websites that will build celebrity websites, and you know they can handle all the traffic, and they build them very beautifully. They've done them for the Kardashians. They've done them for Paris Hilton, other stars too. And what they do is they'll build your site, and then they'll do an ad rev share with you for any advertisement that comes in. And, you know, I don't handle that part of Maria's business, but we're with WME, you know, William Morris Endeavor, and a very big agency. And so they deal with the best of the best. And I slipped in Squarespace with all of the people with all the proposals to do a website for Maria's thing, not mentioning that they're advertising on AfterBuzz. And you know what? that's who WME wants to work with.
Oh, that's a good story.
Right, so it's going
it was like out here. I didn't know where you were going, but that, you brought it right back in.
So I'm saying, if it's good enough for Maria and a big
WME,
celebrity, like why not? Yeah, so it's exciting. I love the entrepreneurial spirit, which I like Shark Tanks, but that's why I love something like that Squarespace. Yeah, so regular people can do it.
Sweet. All right. Anything else about Crazy Eyes? We're moving on from it. I feel bad. No disrespect, but I mean, the stress I'm sure you're under, the lights. I don't know. It's crazy.
I want to get an update. I would like to. I really want to sit her down in studio. I know she can call in and things like that, but in
you know
studio
what?
You want to take her out on a date? You want to slip her your card, don't you?
Doesn't she have the fiance?
No, she has the new guy. He looked good. He looked good for the pictures. Handsome guy, well dressed. I don't know if I'd want to sit with her because I think I would get drained because she wouldn't listen.
I agree.
Sometimes I like being part of that train.
I know. Don't have me in there. Don't have me in there.
I mean, I'll be there till like once the train. I'll be like, okay, back on course. But
all right. But
if you're out there, Lori, come. I know she's from New York, but a lot of New Yorkers come to LA a lot, so you're welcome here at the AfterBuzz. We'd love to talk to you about your experience.
Speaking of people who don't listen,
oh my goodness,
this was a great product.
They needed to just be their product and zip it and listen.
That's right. Nope. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It was two sisters, which to me, like, when you're in business with a family member, I think it's either a really good thing or it could be a really bad thing. I feel like very rarely is it in the middle and a well balanced thing. They had a good pitch. They weren't talking over each other. The product, I thought, was amazing. Some of the things that I did see people talking about on Twitter and stuff was like fire safety, like if the kids were zipped in there, which I mean,
true, but I think you work on and maybe we'd work on a zipper that's easy to open from the inside.
Yeah, like it's got and maybe it did, but that was just something that I saw that came up for me, like a safety thing for the kids. But I thought it was brilliant, like it is. It looked really nice. Yeah. It worked well. I liked how it zipped off the side. I like the feet on there because. Like me, like I like one of my foot out when I sleep. Like I don't know, so it had a lot of options.
I loved it.
I like it. It keeps you fully covered because that's the biggest. For me, that's the biggest thing is I'm tossing and turning, and then I'm like, I wake up, and my feet aren't covered anymore.
I come from my mom had us all making our own beds from the age of 4, and I think that these little principles in life are good. I'm a believer that one of the things that prevents success is clutter and messiness. I think it's a very I think it's a very underrated. It's a very underrated task in life. People are like, oh God, what's this all about? But I do think that those are very healthy habits to instill in yourself, and especially children, if you get that started young. And so I think that when a child leaves a room, when the bed is made and the toys are put away, as long as it's not taken to OCD level, I think that builds something very healthy in a child. And so I love the product.
And it's easy.
Great. And it's easy.
Like, so it's not going to get to the
kid doesn't have
OCD.
to
It's going to
learn.
be like, zip it up.
And, you know, and some, like our bed, God, with my girlfriend, it's like so intricate. You know, it's one of those ones, you got to peel this layer back and put this pillow in a certain place for all of it to work. Okay, that's just annoying. This is nice. You know, zip it up. And yeah, I was like, I'm in.
Done. You're buying one.
And I was so excited. Yeah, it was like, okay. And then to think of Lori to be able to sell this, I thought,
QVC,
this would be great.
They didn't really want to listen to Lori.
I mean,
and this is where you have great product and maybe not so great entrepreneurs, right?
Right. And again, they were asking for $75,000 for 20%. And the crazy thing is they actually got offered a deal from an outside investor. Like someone approached them and wanted to give them $50,000, and they wanted a 4% royalty for national sales and 6% for international sales, and they said no. So again, it shows, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you know what I mean? Like, clearly they're getting offers and they're asking for help, but they're still not taking it. So I don't know, man. It's kind of looks like the hamster spinning wheel a little bit. They're getting a little stuck.
You see it all the time. And, you know, it's kind of the other thing, too. I call it my lottery ticket problem, you know, is people have heard too many stories of the guy who scratched the lottery ticket, made $100 million. Too many stories of Mark Zuckerberg creates Facebook, it's now worth $1 billion. And so they all think, and like the lady later with the medical device, they all base what they have on what
someone else did.
Yeah, and what it's gonna be worth. That one guy that hit the lottery, and not on reality. Not like, let's get in the game. let's get this thing out there, and then so you know, we're going to give up 20%, but now we're going to fire hose out in a big way. We'll be on QVC. We'll X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
And that, you know, and it's like I see these people hang on and no, but this other like deal, this thing's worth way more, and it's sold for so much. And again, I bring it back to our business. I've had friends, and Phil knows some of them, that had a chance to do AfterBuzz with us. And nope. There's this big name director, and I'm going to work with him, and we're going to make a TV series together, blah, 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 blah. 4 years later, the person is still in the same little apartment. Nothing ever happened with that show. They had a bird in the hand, and they give it up for, oh no, the two in the bush, always. And so there are times where I see some of these deals completely slanted, and I'm glad that people walk away. And as I was telling you guys off the air, you know, I've heard a lot of the contestants who come on the show purposely come on, not really intending to make a deal, but they want the hit.
Right.
They want the publicity hit. But I don't feel it was the case with these guys. I feel like they just were overthinking it.
Well, if they were smart, there's only, you know, I went to the website. They only still have like the kid, you know, there's the twin and there's the double, but it's like kid
This should be in every college dorm.
It should, yeah.
They should have college ones, like
so
you could blow this thing out.
Well, we went on the website and looked around a little bit, and I didn't want to bring that up but the aesthetic is good for kids. But I thought we should have some solid colors,
right?
You know, for the this would be great in a dorm. I would have loved that.
Yeah. And also though, I think the big thing too that we're kind of touching on it, and like I said it in the opening of this, it's like sometimes when you have a good idea and you're trying to convince people, like a good salesperson knows when to shut up, and I feel like they just didn't. They just kept talking about it, and
it sold itself pretty much right off the bat.
That's what I'm saying. Like they didn't really.
Certainly.
Yeah, I mean we saw it, and the kid got in and zipped it up, and you were like, done. That like really nothing else needed really to be said.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else about Zip It betting before we zip it and move on?
Just sad.
Well, it is. Well, okay. Let's potentially look at it in another way. They did get a great ad on ABC's number one show, or top show. And if you're a mom out there or a family person, you can go to. We actually cruised the website before we came on the air.
But here's the problem. I'm gonna quote John Taffer. Now you've created a reaction in these people, right? Like let's who's. In terms of demographics, I know we may skew off what the normal demographic is, but now you got us excited about the product. I don't have kids. You don't have kids. You don't have kids. You want it for yourself, but you can't buy it for yourself. And, I mean, are you realistically going to buy it for your friends' kids? No. And so now we want this, but the market's not out there. And, John Taffer, who's the host of Bar Rescue, he teaches about expectations and things like that, and so now we're expecting this
building
product.
reactions,
and so, but it's
in
not
the
there,
same
not
sense,
meeting that
I mean,
demand.
I get it, but I don't think every single product is made for every single person, and the amount of women buying stuff for kids is such a high shopping demographic that I don't think that's. I think that's okay.
So it is okay. I agree with you, Steph. But I think it's like you did get this hit. Now you'll get a little charge, but like anything, you got to keep stoking that fire.
Right.
So this will be done, and then that's it. I mean, so
they got to expand clearly,
and they would have been able to do it. I mean, God, $75 grand, 25%.
Or they could do licensing too, like kids, like NFL teams for like kids.
Right, genius, and they would have known that. These guys would have known. Yeah. Cuban would have known that.
He would have had Mavericks ones for kids like overnight. I know. I'm telling you, they messed up. They effed up.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, it's sad.
Moving along. I don't know if I'm going to say this right.
Bambooey.
Bambooey! That's what I wanted to do. Boom! All right. I like these guys right away. I liked them, but I got a bone to pick with the bamboo, so I'm going to get into that in a little bit. They wanted $200,000 for 10%, and it was washable bamboo towels. Apparently, one roll replaces 286 rolls of paper towels. How do we feel about bambooey?
I mean, I'm always for these types of products, so I like him. And you know what? He was genuine. I go back to Tree TP guy and his mission statement and how great he was. And so I like these people that have a good product to really enhance the earth.
I like him too, and I like the mission statement, and they touched on the mission statement.
But you see where in speaking of the mission statement, you see where they at least alleged that they had heart.
Right.
And that's what I didn't see in Blondie.
Right. Blondie had no heart.
And notice that even Darth Vader and the people on the sharks loved their heart. And he said to him, Keven was like, I'm a great salesman, and I'm going to give you credit that you're. So now I actually really want to rewatch this guy's sales pitch, because to get Keven to say that, that's pretty awesome.
Right.
By the way,
I agree.
Did you agree
with what?
That he's that great of a salesman?
I didn't. I think for me, I am a little bit, and maybe this is a fault, but just being very honest, I'm a little bit jaded about the bamboo and the environmental friendly products, especially when it comes to fabric, because when I had my clothing line, I did a lot of research, and actually a lot of the recycled cottons and these type of things, actually it takes more energy and work power to get the cotton that way. So even though it is a different organic cotton, it's actually like exerts more energy that's bad in the environment. So a lot of it is just for a sales to say it's bamboo. Like if it really, really helps, you know, the economy, I mean the environment as a whole, I don't know that I buy. So a little bit.
Well, what about the fact that it could be washed?
I like that. I like the fact that it be washed. I like the fact that, but again, then you're using water, you're using energy, you're using this. Like, I don't know that that is a lot better than
killing trees.
Not killing, like use a rag or use something.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they're like the need for this product. It's kitschy, and you could probably, I could see it at Whole Foods or something like that. But do we need it? Do I need it in my world? No.
Wow, you just totally unsold me. You're a great unseller.
Hey, I could do it. I could sell you right back into it if you wanted me to.
No, okay, sell me back in. I like when I get sold. I don't like getting unsold.
I think I missed it, and I know that since we had an East Coast fade, we had a pause for a second. There was something.
Okay, but wait a second. Here's the thing. I'm gonna. This might be a bit of a bailout for you. You're not necessarily saying it's unsellable. You're saying you personally don't like X, Y, and Z about it, but
I'm not saying it's unsellable. Right, okay, I'm saying I wasn't as moved by the mission statement because
your lack of movement unsold me. I don't want to buy anymore.
Right. I mean, like, because for me, when we did some recycled stuff, like some of the polyester and cotton we got, they used recycled irrigation, and they used these things that actually took it a step further and did this. And I know, like, there's a few brands that I don't want to mention because I like the brands, but they, for a very long time, had a bamboo t-shirt, and everyone thought it was the coolest thing ever. And when you do the research, it's actually worse for the environment, the way that they get that, make that, the energy that more people have to work and do X, Y, Z than, you know, a cheap cotton.
Gotcha.
So for me, that was like my awareness was like, that sounds good, but is it really?
All right, so let's talk about you being a shark. Do you buy this product or not?
I would not.
Well,
well, then why?
Because of that.
Well, we talk about this a lot, and I mean,
but because you don't think it could make money, or just you have a philosophical problem?
A little bit of both. I feel like yes, it could make money because people are going to get on the bandwagon, but it's going to be a very short life bandwagon. Especially again, I didn't get the prices of it, so I think you know, we had a glitch with our feed. It paused for like 2 seconds. We missed like 3 minutes or something. So it depends on how much that cost. But just the whole feeling about it, I don't mean to like shoot him in the face about the mission statement.
No,
but
I love that you are, because it just gives me a different perspective.
Yeah,
on it.
For me, it was just like, you know, so many people sell on this environment, and clearly, I mean, look at our weather, look at what's going on in the world. Something's wrong with the environment. So these products, like, there's a need, but I don't know if it's there.
But remember Barbara? Again, we talk about this all the time. But when a product's basically just right for one shark, and Barbara singled out like, hey, this sounds like it needs to be demonstrated. Is this a product for you?
No, by the way, guys, just so we can, this educated me, and this could educate your audience as well. There was a specific term she used. This is a demonstrated product, or there was some kind of like lingo in that world about this is the product that we're going to, this is to sell it, we need to demonstrate. We need to be polishing the table.
No, wasn't that the Zip It?
Zip It was a DR, direct response.
But this one she mentioned twice about
demonstrated.
A demonstrated product, and you know, even like when you see the pyramid of the product, it looked like something that you would see a great salesman pull out of the tube, clean something, wring it, clean it again.
Like a chamois.
Exactly, and you would just get sucked in, and I think that like it's something you would
It's
see
a very
on the,
QVC or
yeah,
HSN.
yeah.
Right, and you
But-
buy one, and
but
for
you know what?
$14.99 you get another one and a little box of cleaner.
And you know what? Those guys, they all have more money than me. They're a lot smarter. But I'd rather have put it in Zip It.
Me
I
too.
know Zip It wouldn't have them.
Yeah, I think this again. It's going to be something that's super cool now because people are environmentally aware. And then again, it
I think
depends
you're right.
on-
I think you're gonna make a hit with this, and then you don't see it again.
No.
It's that like product that just seen on TV. That brand.
But here's
that
the
you
here's
see,
the
it's like hot for a year or two, or
Yeah.
Here was the other thing. So, Kevin's in on it and says, 200,000. It's a loan for 8%, and the 10% equity is just an incentive because it doesn't really mean much.
Yeah, Kevin gets the incentive to give the loan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so obviously they didn't like that deal very much, and everyone joked about it. But then Lori, this is the problem. She gave them
did it,
exactly
but
what they asked for.
They did it,
And
but
they
they
weren't gonna-
did. He said he wanted Mr. Wonderful to be part of the deal because he wanted him to say in the thing, "No more paper towels."
I think he wanted just any two sharks.
Right. Yeah. But he was a good sales guy though. That guy, like, I liked him.
He was a good sales guy, but when you ask and you get what you asked for, you have to now.
Okay,
you really
But he's also a human, and he might in his head want Mark or want two sharks or this or that.
and I would have said if he was the salesperson that Kevin thinks he is, my response would have been, if you notice, I'm not asking for more money. I'm not being greedy, but I respect you guys so much that I would love to have two of your minds as opposed to one. That's all, so
Right.
you can't fault me for that. That would have been my response.
And again, he says yes pretty quickly after Lori. So
No,
Because she scared him.
The girlfriend or the partner
Right.
said, "We'll take it."
yeah,
Now I don't know if that was editing or what, but I was like, "Oh my God, she just."
it probably was.
yeah, she
Well,
made the call. We'll take
Yeah,
it.
apparently, what I learned when I went on Wednesday to a little intro seminar at the Damon John Academy, they did talk about Shark Tank a little bit, and they talked about how you get 2 hours, and that's edited down to 8 minutes. And the producers pick. They have the sharks don't know who's coming out. But yeah, so when
TV's good, it's good.
it's good.
You know what I mean?
It's good.
These guys
There was
know
actually
what
like
the
a few
producers-
people in the room that have tried to get on the show that were at this thing on Wednesday.
When there's
which is pretty cool.
producers that know what they're doing, you know what? Nice job.
Yeah, favorite show, best show ever. Okay, anything else about Bambooey?
They got the deal with Lori, so I'm glad that it worked out in the way that.
Again, but I would so much be rooting for Zip It than them.
Yeah.
I forget. Is there a patent on Zip It? Let's get on.
I
this.
think she had
Let's do it a little bit differently and get a different patent.
down Velcro.
No, we're working on our app. Remember, guys? Come
Dude, we
on,
got
everyone,
the-
stay focused.
I got that's why we have you, Kevin.
All right.
Keep me
I'll
right-
keep you focused.
redirecting.
That's what we do.
Redirecting. Okay, now we go to Buzzy. What do you think about Buzzy and Dr. Amy Baxter?
I like Buzzy because it ties into what we do.
No, you
World's
didn't.
dumbest reason. I didn't quite get. She kind of was upselling it, but then it. Someone asked like, does it take away the pain of a shot beforehand? And she said no.
Yeah, I kind of wasn't clear exactly.
She said, well, she couldn't predict in everybody, but she said 50 to 80% reduction of pain.
Right.
And if I'm a parent, I'm happy with 50%.
Right.
But so another Keven Undergarism that I'll just throw at you guys. This is an example of, and people at home, I see it all the time, the guy next to me, hasn't really happened to him, but he's young enough so I can stop this from happening. But I often see in life, and for you smart people out there, don't let this be you, but there are times, often, that I see your IQ betray you. And a lot of people with high IQs are so smart that when you're that smart, you can't be wrong.
Right.
How can I be wrong if I'm this smart? And I often see the IQ betray them. And whereas I would guarantee you, IQ-wise, many of those sharks, the computer guy, yeah, I bet you has a very high IQ. Many of those sharks have an above average IQ, but I bet you anything not the highest IQ. They won't admit that because they all want to think they're geniuses. But there's such a level in humility in being above average like myself, just
Right.
above average, because you have such humility that you want to learn, You're humble. You want to learn from the person next to you. You
Right.
want to absorb. You want to, but I see a lot of people, and I think this doctor was one of them. She's just so smart that, oh, wow, what can we teach her? And that's the last line. Would you
Right.
really have wanted to work with her? Because, listen, doctor, you know doctoring, and you created this great product based on your knowledge of
Right,
doctoring
because if
and
you were that
science.
smart, you would do it yourself and you wouldn't be there. I mean, I
But
get
no,
the
no,
press,
no, 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 no.
but
And I'm not knocking her for not being smart, but your smarts are in developing this product. Now, you don't have the experience I'll just hire a CEO. Really? You'll just hire a CEO? Like,
Well,
that,
okay.
like, that's so easy?
To take a little digression on that point,
Yeah.
I feel like us in society, we rate smarts in a very weird way. Like if you take the computer genius, okay, they might have a high IQ. And a lot of people put them, they could have the same IQ as somebody else, but a lot of people put them in this different bracket because what they do, so many other people don't do. So it segregates their smarts in a way, but they're not smart. They don't have social skills. They don't have
No,
this.
they don't have any of that.
So
I'm
the
just
way
talking
we-
about in a straight IQ test. The standard IQ
Right,
test
but what
that
I'm
goes
saying
abroad.
is she might be, I mean, I'm agreeing with you in a sense
Yeah.
that in this, she might be so smart in one thing, but clearly she's dumb in X, Y, Z.
And well, here's why she's dumb. She doesn't have the experience. Maybe she could be a great COO, but guess
Right.
what? Your training and your skill level is over here.
Right.
Now, you can't automatically go and have all that just because you have a high IQ. So it's like the shark. You have to let the sharks do what they do. So a lot
Yeah.
of times, again, to bring it back to filmmaking, I'll get a great product, a great TV show, or a great movie pitch to me. I'll say, now let me go in the room and sell this for you. I know what they're looking for, what they're not looking for. And earlier in my career, I would take the other person in, and they'd come in the room and they would trip up the meeting,
Right.
make a mess of it. They would talk like this, piss off the shark, the network head, and we're done.
Right.
You know, and I say, please let me do my job. I didn't tell you how to direct your movie. I didn't say to you, change the shot. Let's not do a bee because
Right.
kids are afraid of bees. Bees sting people. I need you to change. Can't you change that to a unicorn
Right,
or
yeah.
butterfly? I'm not saying that to you. You did what you're awesome at. Now let me, the shark, do what
Yeah.
I do. And no, I'm so smart. I'm
Yeah.
smarter than you. You know what? So, and that's what
All-
I felt I saw here.
All it should have taken was Barbara's story. You know, because she thought she was smart in bringing up Ava the elephant. Remember Ava the elephant? Well, let me tell you about Ava the elephant. I paid initially $100,000 for
55.
whatever. Well, 55. That's it.
Yeah.
And I ended up having to pay 285. So don't go thinking that it's just a walk in the park. And that should have been it.
Yeah.
In
And
terms
it's-
of listening.
I think too the fact that her evaluation, again, what you touched on this earlier, that just because other people have done this and the trends in medical products or whatever it might be, that it goes from X evaluation.
Yeah, some of
X
them
to Y.
maybe hit it, but guess
Yeah,
what?
the evaluation was crazy. I mean, she gave herself a $3 million evaluation. No, $6 million.
And
But anyway,
here's the thing, right? So we talked
10
about
million, no, it was $10 million evaluation when she's really only worth $3 million.
we talked about this with DDP, right? And Damon John gave him credit. He was like, you know what? That's a fair valuation because it was slightly higher than he was worth at the moment, but it was realistic with the
On
trend
the
that
growth,
it was going.
Right.
with the rate of growth.
You know,
This
you
is
can't
not-
predict this in what it could be in whatever. Like you have to take, okay, how much am I growing? How much am I worth today? And factor those in. You cannot say you're worth $10 million
No.
when you're 3.
I mean, you can, but you're not going to get a deal.
Okay, say 3.5, maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
No, yeah. And I don't think the Sharks usually rip anyone a new one if it's slightly off the evaluation, but this one was a little bit cray-cray.
Oh, they'll rip you though.
They will?
They'll rip you if you do it the other way too, where you undervalue yourself.
Right. And I think Mark brought up a really interesting point that I liked was that you're selling to the wrong place. Like he was saying, and which I kind of agree with. Like she knows the doctors, she's got the reputation there. Get this in children's
Stick
hospitals.
in your game.
Get this
Hit
in
a single.
pediatrics. You're
Right.
a
Hit a
pediatric.
single.
Right.
Stop. I'm going to CVS and I'm going to no.
Yeah.
Stay in your niche. We'll get there.
Yeah, because
we'll get to
like they were
CVS.
saying with big box, and I've sold to big box stores, you have to employ people, you have to get barcodes, you have chargebacks, you have all kinds of stuff.
And she's like, I'm a full-time doctor.
yeah,
like I have a
there-
full-time
she has
practice.
no idea what goes into all that. I think.
I would get the reps.
right. Get the doctors to sell it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It could have, again, and you know, it's kind of funny, I guess 2020 hindsight, as they say, but like, you know, hopefully some of these people will watch the shows or will get, you know, they won't. I know.
Here's the problem.
I know.
Kevin and I had the worst, you know, we joke about talking to Crazy Eyes, but we had the worst experience with our first episode we ever did for Bar Rescue, where we had the lady call in from the Pirates, and nothing you could say.
So if you got to, Steph, you have to see this episode if you can YouTube it.
It's
Bar
season
Rescue,
2, episode 1 of Bar Rescue.
Pirates. Okay, and it was a lady that owned a bar that was pirate themed.
Okay.
In around the Washington, D.C. area.
In a corporate area of Washington that was all businessmen. And basically it was her and her friends dressed as pirates. They had this drink called grog, which was just 18 different liquors and like fruit punch. It was just 0 cents, no money being made. John Taffer goes in, rescues the bar, invests maybe $250,000 to say $500,000 worth of his equipment, expertise, everything.
Right.
And we had her on the phone, and she got rid of everything. They put a pirate curse on this guy. They burned something in effigy, and then when we had her on the phone, I said, "So 0, you got nothing out of the experience? No, nothing. Okay, so really, the new freezers, the new pouring systems,
just the glasses, anything,
the glasses, nothing. The new tables, nope, nothing. It was total waste of time. I was like, okay, please.
Some people.
But then the greatest
think
question was, "Are you making money?" We are not making money.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
We are not making money.
And John had the best line. Like, no, because what do you say? You don't want to be a bar owner. You want to
be a pirate.
You want to play pirate. I don't have time for it. But we see this. And by the way, if you're in Hollywood, oh my God, the delusionalism we see. Daily for the scripts and the this and the that and the projects, and it's gonna, it's hard.
Yeah,
I don't think she's gonna go. I mean, she's making money. She's projected. Those are good sales, but I think
she's got good margins. She's got a good.
It's a good product. It's a good product,
yeah, she's got that figured out.
It probably won't be as big. And you know what though? This might be the type of product that someone seeing this show maybe picks up the phone and says,
right.
A pharmaceutical company or whatever.
Yeah, or licensed, whatever. Anything else about Buzzy? I mean, I kind of like that Barbara kind of ripped her a new one at the end. Mm-hmm. And, she did get 2 deals. Mr. Wonderful actually offered her a deal and offered her $500,000 for 20%. And then actually Robert came in on the deal,
right.
Which I thought was kind of neat. I like when Sharks partner. And then Mark actually offered the same deal and was like, yeah,
I
the
want
evaluation.
nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it was really, really crazy. And she said no to everybody. And again, part of me gets if it's my idea and my passion, I don't want to give up so much %. But there's also a way where, this is ludicrous to her evaluation. But in the same sense, would you rather have, 80% of something that's.
But
she said,
would you have 80% of something that's making millions of dollars and 95% of zero?
But
that's
even Robert, all the time.
Robert said it. You have 3 sharks asking about your valuation, and she mentioned that other people have said it to her in the past.
Yeah.
So it's an
and
ongoing
the other sharks would have called her out. Like they would have been like, "Oh, you're robbing her." You know what I mean? Like that was her. Like $3 million was a good evaluation for that.
And I also want you to keep in mind, Steph, you said something earlier now that makes a ton of sense. So it's 8 hours worth of shooting to get to 8 minutes. So for them to react to 2 minutes. So,
2 hours for 8 minutes.
Excuse me, 2 hours for 8 minutes. So so for them to say that at the end, like, be thankful you're not working with her. Think of what they experienced in those 2 hours. Like, I think we saw a fraction of who this lady was.
Yeah.
I think it was way worse than we saw. And I think there was way more revealed about who she was.
I so want to go to taping.
Next season we will.
Yeah,
we missed the last day.
I know. I called the day of the last tape. I was like, I'll come now. It was like 1 o'clock. They're like, we're just wrapping. Okay, so then we have our flashback to Kistix.
Howtokiss.com. Talk about a website.
You should get that printed on your little card and then go give it out to people. I don't know. I'm not going to lie. Kistix, the 2 guys, apparently they got to deal with Mark. And
I want to know why the guy
partnership, left. He said that one of the partners left because he got offered a really good job. Who knows what really happened there?
I want to see the numbers on that.
I do. Because they're, they did say that they're in Kroger's now. They did over $2 million worth of sales, so that's pretty good numbers as well. I do like how Mark is doing, he's growing the business to different things. He's, getting on board with the Danielle Peck because she has like a Kiss Me Like You Miss Me kind of song, and they tie that back to the website of How to Kiss. Like there's just multiple marketing, verticals kind of going on. Horizontals, whatever. But,
yeah, no, but I think... it's cool. Mark, he's throwing. It's a small product, but he's throwing the kitchen sink at it, and he's doing
he's
anything
a tech
he can
guy. He's a branding guy.
So anything he can do to get eyes and ears on the product, which is amazing, which you wouldn't have gotten had you not partnered with him.
Right. So, I mean, I would do a deal with Mark Cuban.
Yeah, and I mean, how far, and again, how far can you go with that product? So, I think they're going as far as they can.
Yeah. And for what it is, like, okay, if right, it's I forget this episode, but it's like basically it's chapstick. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're gonna what are you gonna say? Like this smells better, you know what I mean? So if
no,
you have
it
to go
is.
a completely different
you
route.
put it on your lips and it tastes something. So if I was to wear something
again,
and you were to wear
but
something and
kissable.
we kiss, it tastes a certain way. Like you can mix like bananas and strawberry and.
But that's
it was kind of amazing. Barbara and Mr. Wonderful kissed on the show. You missed it. You got to rewatch it.
But that's why it's amazing to go that route and just make something, go 100% towards that route rather than just like, hey, we're just a little bit better than chapstick. You know what I mean? Or like we got more.
Well,
whatever it is.
In my mind, they would have done like a dental floss or like a breath mint, or they would have done more products like that.
Yeah.
You're right, Kev.
He's checking out the studio.
Yeah, making sure lights
as we
are
wrap
working.
up.
I know.
Oh, wait,
making sure.
Sorry.
And
My
then,
OCD.
It's okay. And then for next week, oh my God.
Yeah, fireworks, baby.
Looks awesome.
So awesome.
I mean, you have Mark yelling to somebody, "You're full of shit," and it gets beeped out. And then Mr. Wonderful is saying this sucks. He calls Damon a bozo. I mean, I can't wait to see the products.
It's you'd like to think that they'd all be bonding and friends, but you remember they all such big egos. They're all used to being the alpha males and the bosses. So I bet you there's. I mean, I've heard Mark in interviews. He sounds like he's a little distant from them. Maria was recently at a Super Bowl party, and they all called her over, and she's like, "Why do we know these guys?" And she's like, "Oh my God, you're the Shark!"
Right.
She's jumping all over them, and she said Damon was the warmest.
Right.
And she knows she's friends with Mark, so that's irrelevant. She's really good friends with Mark Cuban. But Damon was the warmest. Mr. Wonderful was there. He was great, but he was, he was a little more reserved.
Right.
And of course, it was one of those things like, God, I really wish I could have met them.
Yeah.
They seem like...
We will meet them. We'll be there next season for sure. And I mean, I get that though. Like, I'm sure it's definitely people that are business owners and entrepreneurs and to the level of success that they know how to put their game face on. Like they know how to go in there. They get that.
Awful.
Not only are
awful.
they having business deals and creating business, it's also a show for the brand of who they are and whatever else they have.
Absolutely.
So they of course play it up for the show a little bit.
You see, they're all very smart. Some of them personally, I just wouldn't want to do business with because I still come from a place when you want to work with somebody, you want a partner. You don't want somebody to kill you. So I'll leave with two books that I think I like to throw out there to read. So John Taffer's book on bar science that Phil mentioned is an amazing book just on general business. Yeah, there's some restaurant bar things in there, but we read it and it really helped us with AfterBuzz because of his discussion on what you're really managing, which is reactions. So it's a great book. And the other...
and that's called Raise the Bar.
Raise the Bar. I'm sorry. I always forget the name. But it's an amazing book. And the other book that I was going to recommend, I forget. So just like that, I just lost my...
Awesome.
There's a Shark Tank book, so definitely check that.
Is it good?
I haven't had a chance to read it.
You know what? It's called, which I want you to read this one, Steph. This is a great book for you. And I feel you haven't read it yet, neither of you, Marissa. But I want to even tell the kids at AfterBuzz. I believe it's called Getting to Yes. Getting to Yes. So Harvard University did this amazing study on negotiations, and this book is about modern day negotiation. In the old school negotiation, which is you see on the some of the sharks, which is why I don't like. Old school negotiation is about absolutely crush your opponent and get the best deal. But it's been proven more often than not that when you do that, and even though in the short run you win, in the long run, the animosity that's gets built and the destruction that comes later. I mean, think of nations when they crush other nations in some kind of deal or they oppress them. What ends up happening?
Someone comes and bombs
That's
the other
right.
one,
It goes right. So, exactly. So,
Right.
you know, getting to a yes is much more. It's much more about finding out what the person across the table really wants.
Right.
And then having that line up with what you want, really getting them to understand why it is you want what you want, and then being sensitive to what they want. It's a long read, but it was a life changer for me. And so a lot of the deals that I was making until I read that book were so much different than they are now. It's much more about creating win-wins, and when you do that, then, you know, you just have, yes, you lose a little bit of the money in the short run, but in the long run, you have such a better dynamic that I think leads to increased success. And so I know these guys are so old school that it's still about just crushing the other person. And by the way, maybe it is a TV game face. So, some of these guys probably are really good partners and right in your corner and great champions. But anyway, I'd love you guys all to check out that book. There's no affiliation with AfterBuzz, but those two books have been really helpful, at least to me in business.
Right. Okay. Anything else before we wrap it up?
No.
And to Barbara's, you know, I love Barbara because she does the retreat once a year with her.
Yeah, Fire Island.
You know,
I think she's a good.
We gotta get
person.
invited to
You know what? I also felt like she has a sweetheart, and I don't mean. I hope it's not because she's the woman. No, because she's very successful, but she's beautiful. She's successful, but I feel. I don't know. She chokes me up. Like she gets swept away like I do.
Oh,
in
you
some
want
of
to
the
give
stories.
Barbara a hug, don't you?
I like Barbara. Yeah, I do. I'd like Mr. Wonderful on my side.
Oh yeah.
He's a gangster, and I think underneath his bravado, he may be one of the nicest people out of all of them.
I think I agree with you. I feel like a lot of people, when they are super stern in business, they are soft in there's a balance.
And then the computer guy, Robert, I think is a nice.
Yeah,
I think he can be a little bit less accessible because of, you know, his foreign aspects, but once you get to really break it down, I think, you know, there's such a humility to him.
All right. Sweet. Well, thank you guys for watching. Send us your questions, comments, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you find us. We'd like to hear what you're thinking. You can find, where can we find you guys?
AfterBuzz TV, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
At Undergaro.
Sweet. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Stef Z.
You want to see an impromptu pitch?
Yes.
March 18th, Tuesday at 10 p.m.
Oh, that's right.
Watch Mr. Undergaro.
That's right.
Starring in a reality show called Chasing Maria Menounos on the Oxygen
and
channel.
I'm just saying, TV Guide saying I'm going to be the next situation. So I'm really excited.
That's not a good thing, dude.
I'm kidding. I totally made
Let me
that
see your
up.
abs. Let's see.
All
Let's see what we're working with.
No, only when I get paid, like him.
There you go.
That's funny.
Anyway.
So.
All right, thank you guys. It was super fun. Have a great Friday night.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.